Hey cuties, PeachY here, welcome back to a new video. And recently I had a genius idea that genuinely fascinated me, which is why are we getting so many fashion doll lines themed after high school? You know, why does this keep happening? Ever since Monster High happened, it seems like every new doll line is somehow associated with the high school experience, and it just boggles my mind. So in this video, we're gonna take a trip down the overpopulated lane of fashion dolls themed after high school. So strap in and let's get into it. And of course, we gotta start it off with the one and only Monster High. Yes, the doll line that started it all. Of course, if you don't know, they were released back in 2010 and they were hugely successful, not necessarily because of the high school theme, but because each character was so uniquely different from each other, and they just introduced a new era of diversity and inclusivity and, you know, showing kindness to others. And after a long slumber after the failed reboot in 2016, Monster High is back again stronger than ever this year with its third reboot in the doll aisles, taking them by storm. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the sister brand Ever After High that got introduced 3 years later in 2013, and it was a massive success with all the web series and ongoing specials using the same concept like Monster High, where it's all about the kids that are descendants from iconic characters, in this case fairy tale characters. After Mattel tried to introduce new face sculpts and new, bigger, wide-eyed, kid-friendlier face-ups, the brand started to take a hit and it got cancelled after only 5 years, ending up with a cancelled crossover as well. This next one, y'all know, Rainbow High was introduced in 2020, 2 years ago. Can y'all imagine? Time just flies by. It's all about colors. It's all about rainbows, colors, not magic though. No magic, but there are grayscale characters, which is still very confusing because no one has answered how that works. But yeah, in this school, it's not necessarily about the students being descendants from like iconic characters. It's basically that every character is a representation of a color from the rainbow. Which makes sense, because I guess that's what Rainbow High's gimmick is. It's all about colors, you know, let your true colors shine. And after 2 years, it's still going on strong. So I don't think it'll go anywhere. And so is Shadow High. Shadow High is also doing very well. And unfortunately, Pacific Coast High, not so much. They got canceled. But moving on. Speaking of canceled, here we have Mermaid High. They are actually a brand new doll brand that got introduced last year. It revolves around 4 mermaid characters, Sierra, Mari, Finley, and Oceana, where they go to a human high school and they have to hide that they're mermaids, and any drop of water exposes their fins on dry land. So web series were aired on YouTube, and there was a whole YouTube channel, and if you haven't heard, Mermaid High, they get canceled, unfortunately. I don't know why it got canceled. It just did. Like one doll line, the basics, and then it had like Spring Break, and that's it. It had 2 lines. Y'all, that's nothing. And the web series had 1 season, I guess, like a couple episodes. I guess it didn't do well enough, or I don't know. I guess the creative, you know, directions got screwed over. Cause yeah, so that's a shame, because the actual like concept is nice, even though it's just mermaids going to high school. So next up, we have a huge IP, DC Superhero Girls. They were first introduced in 2015, and they had a good run until 2018, where they were quietly canceled after only 2 seasons. And well, the dolls you see on screen right now were the dolls that they had sold. And then it got a reboot per se in 2019, and it is still ongoing. It has a new show, I guess, on Netflix or Cartoon Network. It's made by, and there's a whole bunch of new dolls that look more chibi, and they're just, I guess, the characters look really nice, and unique. Like the features are very like overdone, but like very unique. And actually, it's led by Lauren Faust, which, if you don't know, is the creative mind behind season 4, like the 4th generation of My Little Pony. So the one that, you know, like Friendship is Magic, like, and the whole gimmick about DC Superhero Girls in both versions is that it's the high school versions of, get this, superhero characters. It was kind of fun to see Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, you know, Wonder Woman, all these iconic superhero characters in the show. They were kind of like friends. They were working together. Weirdly enough, they were all like good people, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. And I don't know if they're still producing the dolls because I checked on Amazon and they don't have them. So I feel like that's probably a bad sign. This next doll line is a little bit more unique because it wasn't just specifically a doll line. It was actually a show that was produced by DreamWorks TV and distributed on Netflix. It ran 6 seasons. The first episode aired in 2015 and the last episode aired 2 years later in 2017. The dolls were produced by MGA. As you can probably tell, the show revolved around a group of girls that were, I think, spies in a high school and something. So I haven't watched the show, obviously. But basically, they're spies. They go to high school, and the gimmick for the dolls is that every doll playset comes with a little science experiment. That's a really cute and unique idea. Unfortunately, the dolls stopped getting produced after the show ran its course. And oh my god, who remembers this? Equestria Girls. It was a spin-off, a line off of the My Little Pony franchise. You know, Friendship is Magic. Basically, the pony characters in human version. The first movie came out in 2013, and then for the next 3 years, it would spawn sequels. So the first sequel was Rainbow Rocks, and then we had Friendship Games, and then we had Legend of Everfree. And after that, in 2017, we got the first season of the web series. The second season was the last one, unfortunately, in 2020, and then after that, it got canceled. In the middle of all that happening, we got various different types of dolls, different articulation, different shoes. The first wave of dolls had the same kind of system like the Bratz, where it's just like a little peg at the bottom of the leg. There is no foot. The foot is the shoe. Oh my god, they also had these little minis, these mini figurines that you could actually pose. They were really top heavy, but they had a really nice weight to them. And obviously the whole gimmick is that these are characters based on ponies, and these are ponies in human version. Cute. They had these little ears on the top instead of like normal human ears, and then they also had this elongated, this little like longer streak of hair on the back of their hair, so it would look like it's like their ponytail. So yeah, they were certainly unique, and I feel like these dolls hold a special place in my heart. Even though it was such a messy time, I still remember it like very dearly, and it's still like, it's a fever dream, but like it's a good one. This next one, y'all know for sure, it's Bratzillas, basically MJ's response to Mattel's Monster High, where it's a spin-off off of Bratz characters, where they are now witches with each having a unique power that they possess. The characters included Yasmin, Jade, Chloe, Sasha, and Megan. Spin-off unfortunately only lasted for 2 years and ended in 2014. In the meanwhile, they did spawn 10 episodes that did get released on the official Bratzillas website, which now you can still watch on Amazon Prime. Although before it got canceled, they did have, I think, a couple of lines. Unfortunately, it wasn't soon enough because they got canceled right before we were able to see a second wave of brand new characters get released. This next one is Star Darlings. Now, this is a book series that was made into a show by Disney back in 2015. They spawned 3 seasons after that, but ever since 2017, they have been inactive, which is very peculiar even with the book series itself. And the dolls were made by Jakks Pacific. The story goes that there's 12 teenage girls who go to Starling Academy. They have to go to Earth to grant 12 wishes to save their homeland, Starland. And the doll release is centered around the 5 main characters of Scarlet, Leona, Sage, Libby, and Vega. I really feel like they are super cute, and they're doing monochromatic really well. Like, I love the looks here. They were Rainbow High before Rainbow High was Rainbow High. This is where it gets interesting. Next up, we have Regal Academy, which, yes, definitely looks like Ever After High knockoff material. So Regal Academy actually was produced by the same people that made Winx Club, which is really awesome. So that's why maybe it has like that same kind of feel and just like with Ever After High, the same gimmick applies here, where every character is a descendant of a famous fairy tale character, but at least some of the characters actually change. So Rose here is actually a descendant from Cinderella. There's many more descendants from the likes of Snow White, Rapunzel, Weasel, the Frog Prince, Beast, and even more. After the first episode airing in 2016, the last one airing in 2018, after 2 years, the show spanned 2 seasons, and then Nickelodeon cut it off. There is a third season, however, on Amazon Prime, I believe. There were a couple of doll releases, but they never really panned out. I feel like they kind of wanted to sell dolls, but in the time that happened and they could have produced more, that's when the second season kind of just got canceled. So next up, we have a more recent one. Again, it's the Glow Up Girls. Now this is accompanied by a show airing on YouTube, so this is a little bit more unique, and the gimmick is basically that it's about glowing up. There's a lot of interaction and playability with these dolls and what they come with. You can like change their outfits into like their normal outfits, and then they have a sleeping mask. You can take that off. They come with like a little sponge to put on their makeup. It's like a whole thing. It's very cute. But overall, I mean, they came out last year and they only have now a second series. I'm just curious, is anyone even interested in these dolls? And I put them here as an honorable mention, by the way, because they don't explicitly go to high school, but they're teenage girls. So like, girl, it's kind of the same thing. Next up, we have another Ever After High / Regal Academy looking clone, Disney Descendants. So yeah, I mean, who doesn't know about this movie? So the first movie came out in 2015, made a bunch of money. 2 years later, there was a sequel, Descendants 2. 2 years later, there was Descendants number 3, and Descendants number 4 is confirmed to be in the works. The concept applies here as well, where it's all about descendants of fairy tale characters, but more emphasis on the villains. So Mal is a daughter of Maleficent, Evie, Evil Queen, Jay, Jafar, Carlos, Cruella. You get the gist. As you can imagine, after every movie that would come out, there would be a ton of dolls as well. The dolls are made by Hasbro, by the way. I gotta say, the face sculpts really do resemble the actors, which is really fun. And these are really hard to find. So on eBay, they're kind of expensive, especially like this 2-pack right here, new in box from the newest movie. It's crazy. These next ones are honorable mentions, kind of, because they do apply, but they're a little bit more of a stretch. So we have Miraculous Ladybug. Now, obviously, the characters, if you don't know, they do attend high school. They're teenagers. They in Paris, so it does apply. But what doesn't apply, I feel like, for me, is the fashion doll term, because fashion dolls are specifically dolls that are, you know, targeting trends that are, you know, hot right now. Marinette, you know, the Miraculous dolls are not fashion dolls. They're just kind of like action figures, almost like action dolls, I guess. They do have real hair, they have posability, but they're not focused on the fashion. So that's why this is kind of like more like in the middle. Next up, we have Equestria Girls. Now, these were released back in 2014. Similarly to Bratzillas, these are also a spin-off series that lasted shortly. I'm actually not sure when they got canceled, but I imagine it wasn't too long. So these are basically the older grown-up versions of the regular, normal Equestria ragdolls. And look how cute they are. They have this like really nice vinyl hair or something, like it's stretchy hair. Their limbs are like all weirdly shaped. They're really unique looking, and like, even though they're not like to a T, like what I would call a high school themed fashion doll, these are still like pretty close. Here we have the Bratz up next. Now, I'm not sure if they I haven't watched any movies or any episodes, so you know, I apologize, but I'm not even sure like if they go to high school. I'm not even sure if they're adults, or like, I have no clue. That's why I'm kind of like 50-50 here. I think they might be like young adults. I'm not sure if they're like still teenagers, like going to high school, or if they're like working kind of like young adults type of stuff. I'm not sure. I haven't watched any source material, but in my mind, I think they are still maybe technically going to high school, and they're just doing a lot of crazy stuff around that. So I don't know. I guess in any case, I can just add them here. Yes, Bratz dolls, I guess, could also be considered a high school themed doll line. Well, maybe for like specific doll lines, because there are specific doll lines that they did that are school centric maybe, but like, I don't think all of Bratz is like high school themed. You know what I mean? Like, they do so many things, like so many themes. I don't think it's just high school. So that's why I'm kind of like on the fence. We have a very special case, the Novi Stars. These really special extraterrestrials were first introduced in 2012, and then they were discontinued in 2014. So they were around for 2 years, girl. Some of these lines really had a short lifespan, and it really sucks because especially Novi Stars is such a unique line. I really would have hoped that they would have kept it going, because this could have competed with Monster High. You know what I mean? Like, this is a really unique line. And nowadays on eBay, there's some that go for like 500 unopened in new inbox. Like, it's insane. So like, I wish they had kept it going, the production, you know, because the dolls are really special and they're really small. Like, they're really unique in every aspect, really, not just because they're alien characters, but also because they're very small. And every doll has their own special feature. One can sing, one can light up, one has glitter in the legs, one has a scent, you know, one can bend. It's like, they're all different. And that's like the best part about it. They all have like features, which is like their gimmick, but it's like so well done. It's like not even like gimmicky. It's like just so well integrated into like their characters. So personally, I miss Novi Stars. And I think in the web series that they had, they mentioned that they were going to school or something, or that they were having like online classes. So that's why I kind of debated putting them in here in this video. Either way, I just wanted to bring awareness to Novi Stars because they deserve better. And then the last one is Winx Club. I'm kind of on a fence about these as well, because not because I don't think that they're teenagers. I think at the start of the show they are teenagers because they go to college, right? There's like, they're going to Althea, so they're still like studying, and so they might still be at that age. But I think by the end of the show they might be adults. I'm not really sure how that checks out. But why I'm on the fence about it is the doll side of things. If you know anything about Winx Club dolls, you know that there's so many Winx Club dolls out there, so many different ones, so many random ones. Mattel made some Winx Club dolls. Jack Pacific had the rights at some point. There were some Italian ones. Like, it was all over the place, and I wish they had kept it with one toy company consistently, but they did not. And so for me, that's what keeps me from fully being able to put this brand in here, because there is not just one doll brand, there's like multiple. I think my favorite Winx Club dolls are the Mattel ones, just because they look so pretty. They have rooted lashes, they have really nice hair, their wings are detachable, they're magnetic, they have bendy arms and legs that can look wonky, but they just look so good. And it's such a shame that they cost so much on eBay. Like, they're so rare and they cost so much. Like, especially these Enchantix ones, oh my god, gold, seriously. I did ask y'all on Instagram why y'all think that we keep getting high school themed fashion dolls, and here are all the answers. Thank you to every single one of y'all who contributed and are now in the video. By the way, if you want to show up in the next video, potentially in the future, check out my Instagram link down below. Sorry, I had to self-plug. Sorry. No one's gonna do it for me, you know. First up, MH Universe wrote, because young kids like high schools. Oh, I see. Yeah, maybe like middle schoolers might think high school is like this big awesome time, and then it's actually not. And then Cotton Candy Geek Girl actually wrote a really like long text, so let's read it from the start. So they wrote, I think there are several reasons. High school is an experimental time for people that age, and it's when most kids come into their identity and define who they are. So for younger kids, idolizing high school makes perfect sense, because you're old enough to get to do so much grown-up stuff without the actual responsibility of adulting. There's also just a long-standing glorification of high school in American pop culture that makes adults go, yeah, high school. Okay, honestly, I get what you mean. Now, college does a lot of this too. The difference is not everyone goes to college while everyone experiences high school usually. College also has genuine stress. High school is all inflated drama, but college, the stakes are very real, and so too is the stress. So it's not as fun to glorify, and because less people experience college, it makes it harder for audiences to genuinely relate. Oh, and it's never middle school, because middle school is hell, and the kids are all social. Makes sense, girl. Yes. Yes. Then my good friend Kino wrote, because it's always put as the best part of life in American movies, and the young people who the dolls are marketed to will get excited over high school, I guess. I mean, high schoolers are clearly not the target demographic. That's very clever. Yeah, I guess it's like, it again has to do with like the American like idealism, right? like the American dream. Evil Mania 20 Barbie 1989 wrote, they sell better. Yeah, probably. At Dolly's 4580 wrote, they might be aimed at children and teens and they're supposed to relate to these characters, question mark. Enrique Galazan wrote, opportunities for clubs, sports theme lines, fashion suitable for high school students. At numnums.18, hey girl. I don't know, high school is just that moment in life, I guess. Kinda, yeah, it's just like that epiphany moment where you realize that, wow, none of this matters and adulting is hard. At fab_bb girl _ wrote, I think it's mainly because kids look up to teenagers because they seem cool to them. So if their dolls were teenagers, they'd want to like play pretend as a teenager through your doll. But that's personally me. I don't know why we do. I love them dolo. Aw, yeah, no, I get what you mean. At Dreamy Pop wrote, because society is obsessed with teenage girls for some reason, that is concerning. Yes, that is also fact. At Adol T Collector wrote, because Monster High was so successful with this type of concept. That's true. That's exactly what we did this video for. You read my mind. Yes, exactly. At Michael Burns 20003, Shadow High is an innovative doll line which changes the way dolls have been marketed. At Sweet Snap wrote, because they are pretty consistently successful. It's mostly because of Monster High, Ever After High, and Rainbow High. At Ruby Dolls wrote, to show kids to be open and express themselves while in school to find who they are. Yes, I agree. And then at Tus Ojos Tristes, sorry, I think because mostly dolls are targeted towards kids and they are in school. Maybe. At Alex Rabieta wrote, it's an easy, relatable teenage doll line to make. At rj.art wrote, to relate to younger audiences since they are the demographic. At purple.sky15 wrote, well, the target audience is mainly children, that's one reason. And then high school covers people's formative years, more drama, relatability, storytelling. Wow, so those were all the answers. Thank you once again for everyone who took part in the questionnaire. I see a common ground here. Yeah, it's definitely, I feel like it's definitely because high school themed dolls just have more relatability for kids, and I feel like I guess they just see themselves more easier in a doll that's meant to be like them in the near future, right? So that makes sense, actually. Y'all are smart. Okay. Yeah, so that was a long trip to take today with all of these doll lines. Oh my god. And like 99% of them are canceled or like discontinued, which is so sad. It is so sad. But now we know more about the world of high school themed fashion dolls, because it really fascinated me for whatever reason. I don't know, I just feel like it's very fascinating to think about, like, you know, strategically, like what sells well and why, right? Why is the big question, and like different reasons. I love asking questions. So anyways, that was the video. I hope it was okay and enjoyable for y'all. I know it was a longer video, but I had so much fun making this, and I was really excited. I've been really excited ever since I got the idea to share this video with y'all. So here it is. Hope it was okay. And remember, leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't already, so you don't miss out when I post more content like this. Keep you updated with what adulty you love. Stay safe, be kind. I hope this next time. Stay peachy. Kisses.